to order on Monday, June 16th, 2025 at 6:32. A reminder to everyone here, the meeting is being digitally recorded, so please be respectful of each other as you are speaking, as well as when you are listening to others. First thing we'll do is, you have for
Whatever I got going on. Alright, so what Hubbardston has going on is tomorrow is annual town elections. June 17th from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Hubbardston Center School in the gym. You can cast your ballot. There are lots of people to vote for. There's no contested, but there's also lots of empty holes. Feel free to pony up and join something and write yourself in. Do not write Mickey Mouse, that just takes away from everybody. But anyway, there are also 3 ballot questions that are there for different things, so if you haven't heard about that, please look on the town website. All the information is there. It's also on the Facebook pages and stuff, or reach out tomorrow to the town administrator. They can explain everything.
There's a very friendly, easily understood summary on the website as well.
Good. All right. Also coming up on June 22nd from 8 to 2. Oh, let's do June 21st first. Sorry. June 21st, this Saturday. I got a couple of them out of order here. June 21st, this Saturday, 10 a.m. is story time over at the library. What's the book? Do we know?
To be revealed.
Okay.
later this week.
It's going to be a surprise book. But anyway, there'll be story time on this Saturday, which a lot of people like the Saturday story times. And then on Sunday, June 22nd, from 8 to 2, the Lions will be having a toll booth right here in the center of town on Main Street. So they'll have some people out in the middle with a booth collecting funds for the Lions. So just be aware, they are allowed to be there. Please do not hit anybody, drive slow, and please donate to the Lions. But again, that is this Sunday, 22nd, from 8 to 2. Then on the 23rd, which is a Monday, at the library, there is a book club at 6:30, if you care to join. Is there a book on that too, or no?
This month was.
You're gonna get sucked in anyway.
Yeah,
You didn't give me enough
you know what,
information.
This month was just a summer read. Pick your
Okay.
favorite summer read, any genre, and we already picked the book for July, and it's called The Berry Pickers by
Okay.
Amanda Peters.
All right, so yeah, so if you'd like to join in on the book club, it's on Monday, June 23rd at 6:30. On June 25th at 10 a.m., there is a summer reading kickoff party at the library. Maddie's Ice Cream will be there, so please join in on that. Again, that is June 25th at 10 a.m., and it's the summer reading kickoff party, and Maddie's Ice Cream will be there. On August 14th is the parks are doing the summer social. Basically, it's the concert in the park, and they're going to have, again, ice cream. It is a Thursday, I believe, from 6 to 8, August 14th. It's at the rec field. There's band playing, and they have, I'm pretty sure they got a bounce house. And they have a lot of fun activities. Again, this is a summer social. They're kind of taking the concert thing and spinning it a little bit to doing a fun party outside for everyone. And please attend that, because it sounds like that they're doing a good job on working on that. And then, of course, on the end of August, we have August 23rd, the Dingy Dash with a rain date the 24th, 10 a.m. You can register your vote. There's prizes for whether you want to be an adult, whether you want to be a kid, or whether you want to be a group vessel. There's prizes for everybody, and we have trophies for best sink and things like that. So start building those boats, because it takes a little bit. And that's all I got.
The current champion is in-house, one of them.
Yeah, well, always, yeah. Some are usually
Not
I'm just a
always.
kid, but I have to be an adult this year.
You have to be an adult
Okay.
this year. You were pretty good last year.
Thank you, Katie. Anyone else have any reports or things to offer?
I tried to give it to all of her, so
All right.
I'm
Try.
All right,
Try.
Yes.
Katie held a very successful Hubbardston fair this past weekend. I would like to publicly thank her for her efforts there as the special events advisor. It is a great event for the community. It really brings everybody together, so bravo, and look forward to seeing that year in after year in the future.
I think this Saturday, first Saturday, it's not gonna rain. Oh, seriously.
Thank you,
jinx
Katie.
us.
Okay. Neglected, when I opened the meeting, to also state that board member Heather Monroe is not with us tonight, so for the record. Okay, we are going to be moving on now to the Country Hen Scholarship presentation. Before we do that, I'd just like to say a few words in regards to the scholarship and the Country Hen and everything that goes with it. The town of Hubbardston and the Country Hen, they've enjoyed a partnership going back at least 20 years, because that's how long I've been in town, 21. And it has been a great partnership. They've been very good to the town, very good to the students of the town. The original owner, George Bass, he has since passed away, but when he relinquished or sold the company, if you will, he set up the scholarship. A certain amount of money that was put into a fund at the bank that is allowing us to, and has allowed us every single year to give out 2 scholarships. I'm finishing up my 12th year now here, and I've been, ever since I got on the board, I've been dealing with this particular aspect of it. Part of it is because I'm a retired teacher, and I had a lot of interest there. And I have to say that over the years, it has been most impressive to those of us who are on the committee, as opposed to, again, speaking to myself, as far as a retired teacher, the quality and the type of individuals who have applied for these scholarships. It's been a privilege to read their applications, read their essays, and be impressed when you say, my gosh, this is just a youngster who's writing this, and they get their heads together. They've already accomplished so much, have contributed so much to the town, and done well academically, and they know where they want to go. And this year is no different. So it has been a really pleasure. And what we will do is I'll present to, excuse me, to each of them one at a time, so that parents and anybody else, if you want to take pictures, this would be the time to get ready, okay? So the first one I would like to present is to Summer Young.
Want me to move?
You probably should.
You wanna be in the
I
picture?
mean,
You wanna take a picture?
You're being in the picture.
Oh, I'm being
It's
in
a
the picture?
beautiful room.
Okay.
Very nice.
I'll stand on this side.
Right. 1, 2, 3, smile. Perfect.
Congratulations. By no means least. Second would be to Chloe Hill.
Go this way then. Just trying to move out of the way of them.
So take the picture.
Oh, my
Okay.
goodness.
Yeah,
Alright.
look over here afterwards.
Okay.
Look at her first.
Look at me first.
Oh, sorry. One twice.
Perfect.
Now over here, ready? 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. All right.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations.
Wish it could be more.
Yes.
So unless you guys are really interested in the happenings of the town government, we will not be offended if you
Decide to
take
go.
off.
It's
Okay.
okay.
Well, all 3 of us will vote tomorrow. She's 18 now, so I promise that.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, guys.
Good luck to both of you.
Good luck.
I was Nate's 4th grade
Good luck.
teacher.
You were.
They're really old.
Hi, do you believe the gentleman from National Grid is online? Colton, are you here for the National Grid hearing?
You may need to check what.
Oh. Yes,
So he is
he is. I just gotta
Let's
put
make sure we
him
get-
on.
back and forth before I open the hearing.
Colin, can you please test? No, that wasn't a good test.
He can hear you, but we can't hear
Yeah.
him.
Colton, please test again.
Oh, God. We need to get a good megaphone. Never worked.
Mute all other mics.
I did. Did you need to mute yourself? Okay, let's try that again.
One more time, Colton. Colton, can we try that again?
Oh,
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Can you hear me? I can hear you guys.
yes, we can hear you.
Alright. Okay, do you want me to introduce this, or would you?
I have to call the hearing to order once we're ready to go.
Sure.
In the past, when we've had hearings in regards to the polls, I've had to read something that's usually right at the very beginning, okay? That's what I want to have. And this is just for the first one, right? That you're giving me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, that's actually it's basically the same thing for both of them.
Okay. All right, then I will officially call the public hearing to order for the National Grid in regards to the poll discussions. I'll read this first and then I will turn it over to, what's his name?
Colton.
Colton Marshall.
Colton Marshall after this. Okay, this is a public hearing. Mass Electric Company, National Grid and Verizon New England Incorporated request permission to locate poles, wires, and fixtures, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures along and across the following public way. Williams Road, National Grid to relocate one JO pole on Williamsville Road beginning at a point approximately 770 feet east of the center line of the intersection of Burnshirt Road and Williamsville Road. To relocate P 15021, what is that? Is that a degree thing? That's 21 Northwest Hubbardston, Mass. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And locating approximately as shown on the plan that's attached. Wherefore it prays that after due notice and hearing as provided by law, it be granted a location for and permission to erect and maintain poles and wires together with such sustaining and protecting fixtures as it may find necessary. Said poles to be erected substantially in accordance with the plan filed here marked Williamsville Road, Hubbardston, Massachusetts. Do I need to read
Nope.
the rest of this?
That's
Okay.
good.
Colton, I'll turn it over to you and you can, we'll go from there. Welcome.
All right, thank you very much. So this is a project to relocate electrical lines to the south side of Williamsville Road between pole 151 and pole 146. This is part of the larger Williams Bridge DOT project that spans over, I believe it is Burnshirt River. So we've been working with the DOT on this, and they need our poles to be relocated to the south side of the roadway rather than the existing locations of the poles which lie on the north side. So in order to do that, we need to move some poles around, straighten the spans out, and get those to the south side of the road. So that's essentially what the scope of work is here.
Yes, Nate.
Mr. Marshall, thank you for attending this evening. I am very well aware that what I'm about to say is a don't shoot the messenger situation, but you are the representative of National Grid, so I'm going to say this. It has come to my attention, our attention, that National Grid may or may not have put up poles without a petition hearing, and in addition to that, National Grid has been very difficult to make contact with to pay for abutters notices and other types of fees that are charged by the town. I would just like to duly note that we are not above holding back petitions to ensure compliance. Like, can't speak for the select board as they are the voting authority this evening, but please let the representatives know at National Grid that we are not pleased with some of the smaller communication errors that have been happening over the last 6 months and intend to do something about it should it not be ratified. Thank you.
Yeah, and so just to confirm, you had issues with the butters notice and, the payment and fees associated with
Yeah,
that?
there are general communication errors, communication issues, there have been fee issues, and I do not have confirmation on this, but I've heard from several people that polls went up without a hearing, so. I understand you're the messenger.
Yeah, but I'll bring that message back.
If it's Scott or whoever it is, feel free to have them reach out to my office anytime. I'll talk to them. I don't want to cause any issues, but I felt like it was appropriate to mention that at this time.
Is there anything
Yeah,
outstanding
absolutely.
at this time?
Yes,
Is there anything outstanding at this time?
yes,
Yes?
yes. I'm working with Alyssa through the National Grid's office. We've been working back and forth to make sure that these invoices that are currently still open paid. This particular Williamsville Road, was the one that was, if you remembered, was tabled due to insufficient notices sent out because they hadn't paid their bills. I put it back on them saying, I'm not putting out any more abutters notices if you're not gonna pay for them because that, we get stuck with the postage, which is not cheap. And putting them into the newspaper, which again is not cheap because you have to put it in twice. And therefore, we worked together, and one of the ones that got slipped through the cracks that was tabled was the Ragged Hill Road poll hearing. And it has been brought to my attention that those polls were put up, even though that public hearing was tabled due to insufficient funds and the abutter notices not being.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Turn it over to the board members.
That's the specific street that I was referring to as well.
Okay, I'll turn it over to the board and, for any comments or questions or how you feel about what we should do.
Has this one been paid?
This one has, I sent her the invoice, I'm just waiting for her to pay, but she did say that she has the invoice and that she will get us a check cut. She said the same thing about the last two, and I still haven't received a check yet, so.
How long's it been? Longer than 120 days?
No, for this particular abutters notice and everything, I started the clock again, so I told her that once the hearing was over, I needed the invoice paid within a week.
How long have we been waiting to get paid?
For the other ones,
Yes.
since December. But we're
That's a-
working on it.
I understand that, but most places,
In the future, we will not be running them without proper payment on the front end. We don't budget to pay for outside vendors' necessary postings, and that is done on purpose. So in the future, we will ensure that nothing that hasn't been invoiced will be brought forward. That it's nice to be able to do, but when people take advantage of different things, we have to make changes.
Yeah, so my 2 cents is this is the last one that goes through without everything being paid.
agreed.
'Cause-
Either prepay it or.
Has this Williamsville Road project been paid?
Not currently, I sent her, but I just sent her the invoice, cause I just got, the, invoice from the publication company that we use to put it in the Gardner newspaper.
So it, in essence, is not outstanding.
It's not outstanding on my end, it's just been sent to her, she's got 2 weeks to pay it, and that's when I follow up and say I haven't received a check yet. Mary keeps her eye out, I keep my eye out, so.
So Ragged Hill Road is 6 months they haven't paid.
Ragged Hill Road is a whole can of worms that we don't need to
The
get into.
polls are in.
The polls are in.
Yeah, but they
They
put
never
the
went-
polls in without
There was
approval.
no hearing.
There was
So
no hearing, we
we
tabled
didn't
it.
approve it.
Correct.
Correct.
Initially, we tabled it because
So have
Very-
we
For these
collected,
reasons.
have we collected all fees from the Ragged Hill Road situation?
The fees for the Ragged Hill Road situation, there were no fees because that's when they first put in the poll petition, I said, you need to pay for the abutters notices, you need to do the publication because you have an outstanding balance with us. I am not doing anything until you pay the outstanding balance. But by the time we got to the hearing, the notices they never put the notices out and they never put it in the publication, so we had to table the public hearing till now, till they got their ducks in a row.
Who's that?
National Grid.
So how did the pole get in the ground without our approval?
I mean, I guess I'm talking about Ragged Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see something in my packet here for Ragged Hill.
I talked to Alyssa and said, what do you have open? Because I wanted to make sure all of your open ones for Hubbardston were put in for this one hearing. Why don't not just do the whole kit and caboodle? So I did the 2 Williamsville Road that I had, and I said, well, what about Ragged Hill? And that's when it was brought to my attention by people who live on Ragged Hill that those poles had already gone in. There was a miscommunication that was never approved because it was tabled at our meeting.
But is there still a situation of monies being owed to the town from National Grid for the
Yes.
Ragged Hill Road situation?
Not Ragged Hill, the other, there's 2 other open poll hearings that they have not paid for.
In addition to the one we're talking about right now, which is still current and not
That
in
one is
arrears.
current, it's not past 90 days, so not worried about that
Nate?
one, yes.
For the good of the order and to kind of
Colton's
save
fine.
Colin some slack, I have worked with National Grid in 5+ communities. Whenever this type of situation does come up, they are very quick to ratify it. I've seen this regarding double poles, regarding fees, just any issue with tree limbs. They're usually very quick to ratify situations brought forth during public hearings.
Yeah, and I'm happy to relay that message back, hope to reiterate it back to Alyssa as well as my supervisor that, there are issues here. And have them look into it. Because I haven't actually run into this issue in other towns before, so hopefully this is just a one-off issue and not a recurring thing going on.
Well, what Nate just said makes me feel like it is a recurring thing. You know, if you've seen it many times in many different.
It's different issues of different sorts.
And to be fair to the Alyssa that I'm working with, it seems that her predecessor, some things fell through the cracks and she's just trying her best to clean it up. So we've had open lines of communication of getting things paid and squared away.
And prior to the situation at hand, they've been good.
The thing that bothers me is they put a pole in without approval.
Yep.
That's a thorn in my side. 3 poles without approval. How does that slip through the crack?
Because it's scheduled, they had it scheduled.
You can't have it scheduled if it hasn't been approved.
I'm aware of that.
How does that
but-
happen?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
If we tabled the meeting because we were missing something or whatever, it wasn't approved.
I-
And yet they had it scheduled, that's why they put them in, because they don't know, it's, National Grid's a big company, they got a lot of moving parts, I understand that, and stuff does slip through, but how do
Yeah, the way,
you can't install something without public hearing.
Go ahead, Colton.
Go ahead, Cole.
right, so the way it should work is that if this passes tonight, I send an email to Alyssa as well as my supervisor saying that this was approved, and then at that point, it would go to scheduling. So how it completely bypassed that, I have no idea.
Can you
That
work
should-
with Alyssa on ratifying that situation? For your guys'
Yeah.
sake, I hope no one has a problem with the polls.
Well,
But I would like the neighbors notified and allowed an opportunity to bring any concerns to the table. It's unfair to give literally anyone else the opportunity, but not them. I understand that it would be difficult to move a telephone pole right now, but
Do you have a work request or at least an address or a phone number or anything that I can kind of take back?
Colton, can I email it to, I don't have my hands on it right now, but I can get my hands on it.
Yeah, 'cause I
tomorrow
remember
morning.
Yeah,
we read the same thing at the meeting, but then we couldn't act on it, you know.
Right.
Right.
90?
It's, yeah, between
It's
83 and 90 right now.
83 and 90 Ragged Hill Road.
There.
So have we gotten any feedback?
Right at my end of my
Have we
driveway.
gotten
No.
any negative feedback about those polls on Ragged Hill Road?
We didn't give anybody the opportunity to give positive or
Well,
negative.
now that there are, have we got any subsequently?
Just the shock of
Their
their
existence.
pole's existence.
Without a public hearing. Understood.
Well, in the meantime, Mike,
Thank you, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mike Stahl, 5 Lombard Road. Do we know if these poles were placed within the road right-of-way, or was National Grid supposed to get an easement on private property?
That I'm not aware of.
Okay, thank you.
okay. Well, I was about to say, in the meantime, what's the feeling of the board in terms of these two?
Well,
Well, I don't wanna get to these yet, I wanna finish the discussion on Ragged Hill, because, you know, I agree with Peter, I think these people who had these poles put in without notice, should they have an issue with them, should have the opportunity to speak voice their opinions, and, you know, if they're on public land or private land, we've got to allow that. I understand it was just an error and an oversight, but, you know, bad news doesn't get better with age.
Well,
So,
we could certainly,
we've gotta reach out to those folks and see if they have any concerns or issues with this.
We don't have to reach out to those folks.
Whoever needs to reach out to those
National Grid,
folks,
yeah.
they need to reach out to those folks.
National Grid.
So can we get Colton that information so he can reach out to those folks and see if
I'm
there's
getting
any
it right now. I pulled it up.
issues?
Colton, I have a work order number. Does that help you?
yeah, that would be great.
I have for Ragged Hill Road, I have order number 309-27985.
309-279-85.
Yes, and it was for bum, 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 bum.
279.
Install one J pole on Ragged Hill Road beginning at a point approximately 975 east of the center line. And install another J pole for a new house, which would be 90. And then I think that I don't see a third pole here, but I could just be missing it.
yeah, there was 3 replaced.
It was,
Right next to
it was, yeah, and then underground cables, such and such, so forth, here and so forth, all
Yeah.
that.
So there's
What
3
was
new
that work
poles.
order again?
It was number 309-27985.
All right.
There is the third page, third one, I just missed the top part. And Will Fontaine was the contact for that one.
Okay,
So in terms of Ragged Hill, we have to basically wait for that process to get a chance to occur for National Grid to reach out to the people before we can.
If it's all right with the select board, I will work with Colton, Will, and Alyssa to have this ratified or figure out a solution that works for everybody, if that's all right.
And bring it back to the board.
And bring it back to the board, and then you guys can just focus on this one tonight. Just know
Fine.
that this one's in process, and
That sounds,
we'll find a solution,
that
I'm
sounds
sure.
like, sounds like a plan. Is this agreeable to?
This one doesn't affect Ragged Hill, this one's
No.
different.
Yeah.
Chris, is this okay, that okay with you, going that way? Okay. I read, is it the same thing covering for both poles, or is there another one I need to read?
Probably another one.
Yeah,
There's
that's
another
why-
one.
It says identical pole locations, but I'm assuming it's.
Well, there's two different numbers.
Yeah, it's
here.
gotta
What
be-
are the
yeah.
numbers?
There's two, no,
No,
here's
I
the
agree,
second,
that's why
here's
I'm
the
looking
second
for it,
one.
okay. So if
Sorry.
you guys will bear with me on this, yeah. It's just not exactly the same thing.
Look at the numbers, that's how I differentiate, because the wording is always like
So
super
on this
close.
one, the first one I read number 310-30762, that number.
Mhm.
And this one, 310-30762, it's the
Oh,
same.
gosh,
Well,
sorry.
before we move on to the second one, can I talk about the first one a little bit?
Oh, sorry, here.
Oh, yeah, we still have,
Colton, can you nutshell it for me, what's happening here with these poles? I'm looking at the diagram for, the first one, which is,
Pole 150, I think.
which is number 30726283. What do we?
Yeah, so these are in conjunction with each other. This is part of a new project work with the DOT, the Williamsville Bridge, that is crossing over the Burnshire River. And we, working with DOT, are relocating our power lines to the south side of Williamsville Road. So in order, all these poles are essentially moving from where they were on the north side, and then will be installed on the south side.
So everything I'm seeing on the south side of the diagram, is a new pole going in? I see 7 of them.
It's only
Correct.
Where do you see 7? I don't see 7. I see 6 on the south
2, 3,
side.
4, 5, 6.
There's a temporary 150,
Yeah.
which is coming out when
Yeah.
the permanent 150 goes in. So I see 6.
Okay, so temporary 150 comes out,
Yeah.
which is this one here. Okay, so there'll be a total of 6. Okay.
That's what I see.
All right, so then move on to the next one.
Is that what's happening, Colton? There's 6 temporaries coming out?
Yes, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And then the pole 145 is being replaced basically in the same spot. So the ones we're petitioning are the ones on the south side, and then there's a couple on the north side as well that are acting as guiding poles.
Yep.
So to maintain tension on that, cross over the street, and then have an anchor going the other way, because we can't obviously put an anchor in the roadway. So all of the blue, the half circle, blue ones are new poles, and then the ones that are slashed out just being replaced.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, go on. Okay. All right, then I'll read what I have for the second poll. It's basically the same, but some things are different. So, to the Board of Selectmen, Hubbardston, Massachusetts, Mass Electric Company, DBA National Grid, and Verizon New England Incorporated request permission to locate poles, wires, and fixtures, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures along and across the following public way. Williamsville Road, National Grid to install 10 JO poles and relocate 1 JO pole on Williamsville Road, beginning at a point approximately 300 feet east of the center line of the intersection of Burnshire Road and Williamsville Road, and continuing approximately 800 feet in an east direction. I don't know what the letters stand for, but DOTR-609187 Hubbardston, Williamsville Bridge 50% reimbursable project, Hubbardston, Mass. Location approximately is shown on plan attached. Wherefore it prays that after due notice and hearing, as provided by law, it be granted a location for and permission to erect and maintain poles and wires together with such sustaining and protecting fixtures as it may find necessary. Said poles to be erected substantially in accordance with the plan filed herewith marked Williamsville Road, Hubbardston, Massachusetts. Do I need to read this number as part of that? Number 307268283.
They just did, so.
Okay, well, I did it.
Yeah, did it anyway.
So, and anything you wanna say on that particular one? Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, this is just a continuation of that other one. It's the same project. This starts at pole 151, so the next pole up and continues on.
Okay. Any questions on this?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Is that 50% reimbursable? Is that something between the DOT and National Grid? Or what is that? The re-
Correct, yes, that DOTR dash 609187,
So that's,
that is a DOT permit number for
okay,
application.
so this DOT's reimbursing National Grid 50% of the project cost for those poles? With that
I would
pole?
imagine that's,
All right, as long as we're not paying out money to have a pole moved.
No,
No.
no.
no,
Okay.
this is a company-driven, DOT-driven job.
Excellent, thank you.
Anything else from anyone? Chris? All right then, could we, if I'm reading the board correctly, could we have a motion then to approve the petitions from National Grid and Verizon for pole relocations and installations on Williamsville Road as presented, subject to any applicable conditions?
So moved.
Motion's
Second.
made, second. Any further discussion, questions, any
Good.
comments?
I'm just curious about what was going on.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Seeing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passed. You're all set, thank you.
Thanks, Colton.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. And so just to confirm, circling back to Ragged Hill Road, you have my email address, right?
I don't, but I can steal it from the meeting, so don't you worry about that.
Yeah. And what was your name, by the way?
It's Patricia Lowe, Lowe.
So I'll circle back with Alyssa and I'll keep an eye out for communications from you.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
My
Terrific. Can I keep
apologies
this?
to the board, I just thought that was relevant.
Yeah,
No?
that is relevant,
Fine.
yeah. So we don't need that happening repeatedly.
Okay, move. You're all set?
Yep, I'm all good.
All right, you have a good
Thank you,
night.
Brianna.
Anyone here for open session? Mike, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mike Stahl, 5 Lombard Road. This is in regards to a question that was brought to me regarding Hidden Meadow Preserve and the East Quabbin Land Trust picnic table. Maybe our select board member KP can explain more about that, and hopefully I can.
I can tell you that I drive by it twice a day, to and from work. And as spring has sprung here, I go by and I saw a nice new picnic table up there, which looks like it was on a nice little platform and a little parking area where people might go out there and sit. And as I continue to drive by through the season, it seems to be becoming more and more overgrown and unkempt and not so amenable to sitting at the picnic table. So I was just wondering why that is, why it doesn't get mowed, and if that's by design, or if that's because we're just not attending to it.
Thank you for that explanation. I have all the answers to your
I
questions.
knew you would.
Number one, just quickly, East Quabbin Land Trust is a nonprofit and a volunteer-driven organization. There is one full-time employee. Therefore, all of that maintenance work is done by volunteers on an available basis. And we have to buy tools to do that, and also we prioritize it by safety, number one. So if we have trees on the trails or around that parking area, they will be maintained first. And the next priority is nature. It is a nature, it's a preserve. And therefore, the amount of area that we disturb is mitigated and minimized. I just sent photos to Nate via email that show that we have some interesting wildflowers in that area that have been identified, and they are right around that picnic table. And we do clear around that picnic table there, right around the picnic table itself. So not the greater area up the access drive, we keep the drive open, we keep the trails safe and open. That's the priority. We have, in Hubbardston, there's 2 land trust preserves, 2 East Quabbin land trust preserves, almost 250 acres, and we have 3 preserve stewards. I happen to be one of those. 2 more are located in Pinecrest.
Okay.
And we'll take any donations of funding, any donations of volunteer time to help maintain these areas, these 250 acres we have. If
Okay.
you want the background on Hidden Meadow itself, number one, the funding to purchase that property was up for sale, for a private sale for development. There was originally 275 acres. There was insufficient funding to purchase all of those 275 acres, but we did purchase 150 of them. So the town contributed CPA funds, the land trust donated, I guess, funds. So we're a nonprofit. All of our money that we get is via basically donations. And the state provided the lion's share of that, and at the time, it was 75K from CPA, 120K from private funding through the land trust, and 450K from DCR. That was when we were talking about 275 acres. So that gives you a little bit of background there. It is a private land trust preserve. The state does have a conservation restriction that prohibits us from performing certain activities. And last year, we had a state biologist come in to identify this wildflower. I don't know if we can pull it up real quick, Nate, from your email. The wildflower in question that is in that area. And we relocated a number of them when we found them growing there, when we put in the access drive and the parking area, including that picnic table that's right adjacent to the parking
So
area.
Mike, you're saying that wildflower is protected, is that what you're basically saying by the?
So there's the picnic table in question. You can see we put matting down under it to prohibit growth from coming up, through the table, that will make it, the maintenance of that a bit easier. And you can see it's cleared around it, so you can get to it without brushing up against vegetation and getting ticks on you and whatnot. So that's the amount of maintenance that we performed this year. And there's the wildflower. The state biologist could not tell whether it was one of the state listed, but it's in the same family. It's in the gentian family. And the one that is quite rare and has not been found in Worcester County is the one she's trying to verify if it is or not.
That one?
Yes, that's a gentian, it's blue gentian, a type of bottle gentian. The interesting thing is those blooms never open, so it takes only a certain type of bumblebee that is strong enough to pry that open, to pollinate it and crawl down inside that flower.
Wow, that's interesting.
Well, it doesn't make it very fertile.
Oh, and these are
Why it's having
two
issues.
of our preserve stewards, volunteers from Hubbardston, Krista and Kathy. They are relocating, transplanting some of those flowers. So we're not gonna go and just haphazardly mow down a bunch of area until, we've already put a bunch of effort, these folks did.
How tall are those flowers, just out of curiosity?
They'll get about, they're a very late bloomer, so it's hard to identify them at this point, Chris. So you gotta let them grow enough so you can see, okay, that's one and that's not. Fortunately, somebody knows how to identify them, and so I've already done that for several of them that are in the quote-unquote mow area. Otherwise, we'll make that a no-mow zone, no mow area. And to Katie's question, they'll be about 2, maybe 3 foot tall
Wow.
in late August and early September when they bloom.
Oh, so that's when they bloom.
Yeah, they're a very late season flower. That's why it's tough at this time. We don't wanna
Yeah,
over clear.
You whack everything and it's
Yeah.
like, oh. Yeah.
I have a lot of personal knowledge about that area and that particular species and type of flower.
So is that the only known location of that type of flower in this part of the state?
I'll ask anybody else if they've seen it.
Well, that's what they're trying to check on, Peter.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. So this is the only place in the 250 acres we have here in Hubbardston that the Land Trust has those. There's another species just off on DCR land across the street at Henry's Grove, the narrowleaf gentian, which looks rather similar. And that's listed, it's not on the state list that I remember, but in doing research on it, it's called rare several times. And if this other one is the Drucii species, it is quite rare. Like I said, it has not been verified at all in Worcester County.
So we won't know until September, right? Or at the
August,
earliest.
September,
Yeah,
When it blooms?
when it blooms, that's how you tell.
If it blooms?
if it blooms.
If we got the right
Oh,
bumblebee in the
it's
air?
gonna need a strong bumblebee to come take care of it.
Right.
The word is to go.
We have photos, I think my brother got a video
Photo
of it
off the rails.
actually being pollinated.
Really?
If you wanna see that level of detail, I can probably provide it.
Well, thank you for what you've provided. Yes,
I would like to thank Member Parego and Mike for bringing this to my attention early enough to provide this level of detail at this meeting. And note, if anyone else has any questions, please bring them up early and we'll try our best to solve them by the meeting. Chris, did you have any further questions on this?
I just want some follow-up clarity. To be clear, this property does not belong to the town,
Not.
and we will not be liable should anything happen to any person up there.
And I can follow that up with, the land trust does have liability insurance. I don't know what the limits were on it, but for our select board member, here's our latest newsletter.
Thank you.
Is that just a walking path, or people can ride their bikes in there too?
Very good question. We laid out the two trails. This property was purchased, I think sometime in 2021.
I remember, yep.
And to approve the CPA funding, it was at annual town meeting. To Peter's question, we laid out a couple of new trails in there. There was existing skidder roads and cart roads and whatnot, because it was prior a farm.
Right.
And I think it was called Fieldstone Farm. You might have remembered that at the CPA meeting. So one of the trails, we'll call it the North Trail, was laid out with the New England Mountain Bike Association, NIMBA. And so it was laid out with obstacles, natural obstacles, kind of geared towards mountain biking and entry-level novice mountain biking. And the other trail zigzagged and avoided a natural heritage area there, which has some protected species that have been sited there. So we had to dovetail all of this work, and sometimes we don't have time for the level of aesthetic maintenance, let's say.
Very good.
and Chris,
Thank
to your point, again, for the record, not only is, it was pointed out by Mike, we're not liable, but also the other way around, nor can we ourselves maintain it, which I think is what you were thinking about initially,
Right.
so that our hands are tied in that sense, we just correct on that, right, Mike?
Well,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
Well, we're our hands aren't tied, it's just what people that own and maintain the property wanna do with it.
it's
Right.
in a trust, so
Right.
that
Right.
relieves us of all.
Right.
And thank you, Mr. Chair and Chris. I just want to reiterate, we'll gladly take financial donations and take volunteer labor. It's a lot of work out there, in the ticks and the mosquitoes and in the mud and
I'm
whatnot. So,
Thank you.
a lot of work.
Yes.
While he's on his soapbox, I would like to thank Mike for emceeing the Memorial Day ceremony. He did a wonderful job, and was really honorable, and it was a great ceremony, so thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, and I'm looking for a replacement.
Yeah.
Already started.
That was your first time.
Yeah, you only done it once, come on,
That was your first time.
don't be a quitter.
Okay? I mean,
Commander.
you can only quit if you're doing it, and so I already did it and got it done.
And we thank
I'm
you.
not looking for a replacement.
And you
Yeah.
did a fine job.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving on, we have a consent agenda, and before I get through it for the board, just to point out in the minutes section, on May 5th, Heather was not at that meeting, but she's not here tonight, so it's not a problem in terms of our voting, passing the agenda, so just so everybody knows that. All right, so let me go through the consent agenda as always, let me get through it, and if there are any holds or questions, we will certainly allow it. First, I had to do with the meeting minutes for the select board, April 22nd, 2025. Been reviewed and approved, the regular meeting. May 5th, 2025, again, review and approve the regular meeting. May 12th, 2025, review and approve of the regular meeting. May 19th, 2025, review and approve of the regular meeting. Under administrative matters, we have the Vadar renewal contract. The action is to authorize a renewal and sign the contract. Notes of the annual financial software renewal. No major changes to the scope or pricing. Item 2, 48 Gardner Road land survey. Authorize the town administrator to enter into contract with Dillis and Roy for a land survey at 48 Gardner Road. It's important to note, this is deemed necessary by the project engineer. $6,500 from the 48 Gardner Road construction account. Under personal and committee actions, we have the annual appointments.
I got one I'd like to make sure I'm added as
You
special
are
events.
added on special events.
Okay.
I've added you. You are
Okay.
there. You are
Okay.
at the bottom, but you were there.
That's fine, just wanna make sure,
Okay?
Ha.
yep,
All right.
good now.
The annual appointments, approve the slate of reappointments that we have, the list is Nate provided for us, it's not tonight. It includes board, committee members whose terms expire June 30, 2025, for various lengths. We have Nancy Perron, resignation of the building/health clerk, effective 7/31/2025. Zachary Wright, an appointment, police full-time academy,
Hold.
okay, 6/30/2026, $23 an hour. Come back to that. Sam Scapato, appointment fire, full-time,
Hold.
6/30/2026, $23.50 an hour. Brock Drenara, appointment member Conservation Commission, effective 6/30/2026. Jessica Hall, appointment
hold on
CPA
now.
Parks Liaison, 6/30/2026. Okay, we have 3 holds.
You go first, Chris.
Pardon?
Chris can go first.
So go ahead, Chris.
Zachary Wright, police, full-time academy, term and rate 6/30/2026. So is he starting, is he going to be employed on 6/30/2026?
He will not actually begin getting paid until the academy starts at the end of July. So in order to get him enrolled into the academy, we need him appointed,
Okay,
and then we can start the enrollment process. So it's a process of getting him through the medical, the psychological stuff, all the stuff that pretty much pre-employment stuff. In order to put him in the academy, he's gotta be,
And it's a standard term. It's a standard
it's
four-year
the
term.
same as we did for Officer Palmer, who just got out of the academy.
okay, so when do we start paying him?
So next fiscal year, after July
Fiscal year,
first,
okay.
yeah.
He has to complete the academy for, yeah.
Well, he'll be getting paid while he's attending the
Uh-huh,
academy, but, that doesn't begin until the end of July.
I got you, okay.
And, Sam Scarpato,
He's a
full-time fire.
current, what do you call him?
On-call.
On-call firefighter who is taking advantage of the opportunity. It's great to see when people can rise from within or come from within. That speaks volumes about the organization and what different people are willing to do. This came forth when a firefighter left employment about 6 months ago, but due to some of the payout factors of that employee, we did have to wait some time to bring this next employee on. This will work out financially, and it just so happens to be from within the ranks. So the chief is on vacation this week, but he did bring this employee forward.
So he hits the ground running on June 30th, ready to go, firefighter. Okay?
Peter?
So he's already been through the academy, and he's a certified EMT?
At the very, hold on.
Because it says full-time firefighter / EMT, I take that he's already qualified.
That's what I believe as well.
I'd like to know that answer when you get a chance, so.
He's looking. Hold on.
Otherwise, we're sending him to the academy and the EMT school,
Huh?
His offer letter has all that, doesn't
and I don't see anything about that.
It's in the drive.
Are you saying there's more details about that in the packet?
Yeah, I don't see it. From Scarpato?
Scarpato?
Yeah,
Sam.
give me a copy of their,
Offer letter's in there, yes.
yeah.
He's young, right? He's like my kid's age. Yeah, he went to, did typewriter back
Excuse me.
He's the same age as Cheyenne, my daughter.
Hired
Huh?
a new police officer and he gave him his birthday. I was like,
Yeah.
ouch.
Yeah, I was like, I feel old now.
Ouch. And then he called me ma'am. I
Yes.
was like, no.
Yes, shut.
We'll come back to him while he's looking, while
Yeah,
Nate's looking that
so
up.
the reason I ask, let me just state this is, so are we, is the fire department bringing him on so they can send him to the academy just like the chief here? Or he's already all set with all that stuff?
The only thing the fire department offers is getting your paramedics license. You guys approved it out of the Holton Hospital account last year.
For him?
No, for anybody who wishes to do that, both internally and in the future.
Yeah, but usually you step from EMT up to paramedic,
Yes.
correct?
So the lower stuff, we don't.
So something they do on their own? What about the firefighter? We don't send them to the academy?
No, I don't.
Don't they have to be certified firefighter out of the academy to be a firefighter?
Or something, right? They gotta be something.
Right.
And you just show up and just like, I wanna be a firefighter.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I don't see anything in paper that says he's qualified or not qualified to be a firefighter.
I
Are
know-
we hiring him to become a firefighter, so we send him through the academy, or is he already
Sam
qualified?
Academy trained.
I know that when they're on call,
Is he
the
in
call
EMT?
guys have to go to,
So, Peter,
Fire academy.
he's
Peter.
both academy trained and an EMT.
Thank you very much.
There we go.
Right, bye.
Problem solved.
Simple.
Katie,
Okay, so this one's a little bit of a, catch-22 here. I have no problems appointing her, Jessica, except she's not running and she's due to not be part of Parks as of tomorrow. So if she goes on a write-in campaign, great, or if she asks to be reappointed temporarily, cause she didn't go on to the ballot, but I kinda think this is silly to appoint somebody when they're not running.
Mr. Chair, motion to table if there is a motion, please table that.
Cause I don't have a problem with doing it after if she doesn't write in, cause she
Alright.
might as well just pull papers.
why don't you forth a motion to table
Okay, I
her
would like,
appointment until after the election?
I would like to put a motion forward to table Jessica Hall's appointment to the CPA as the Parks liaison, till after the election.
So there could be write-ins then.
There could be,
Okay.
but
Or she could seek an appointment
Yes.
from you guys, or there could.
So it's a motion made, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, now we can discuss it.
So,
I'll come to you, Mike.
So she's not on the ballot, but
No.
the title of that position's on the ballot for an open, for a
Yeah,
write-in.
she's
Okay,
she's
so she can't be
out
appointed unless nobody writes
at-
it.
Yeah, that's why I was looking, I was
Yep.
like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Thank you for, paying attention to that.
I do pay attention.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mike Stahl, 5 Lombard Road. I attended the last Parks and Rec meeting last week. She was there at it, and she handed me a slip and several other people that said, I would like your support as a write-in. Here's my name to write it in, so.
And that's what a few people are doing, but until that actually, we know for a fact that that happens.
Sure,
we
no, I'm just
literally
offering that as.
appointing her for today.
Yeah. No,
So-
I'm not questioning
Yeah.
it in any way, I'm just providing information that is her intention as of last week was to solicit write-in support.
And I don't believe there is a CPA meeting anytime
Time
soon.
soon,
There
so
was
it
one
doesn't-
last week.
Yeah.
She did attend, but she was not able to vote.
Mhm.
So
So either way, she's gonna get it, whether she writes it in or vote, unless somebody gets more votes than her.
Well, that's the
Right.
whole thing,
That's-
that could happen.
I understand.
this will
So-
solve itself, but there's no.
Okay, we'll know by after tomorrow. All
Well,
right?
yeah, probably.
Any further discussion on the motion?
Negative.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, opposed? Motion is passed. Could I ask for a motion for unanimous consent on the consent agenda as presented?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Not opposed? Motion passed. Okay. Okay, we move to new business. First thing we have is a proposed FY '26 Select Board calendar. Wait, have you all had a chance to look at it?
Lovely. 2 a month, sounds great, sign me up. Oh, wait. Yeah.
First and third Mondays of each month, no meeting the first week of July, unless something jumps out at you personally that you know that a particular date is not good. What do you have? Anything jump out at anyone?
Yeah. No. All winter.
I will be busy
Yes.
hibernating.
All right, well, that being the case, we'll just,
Day by day, brother.
so.
That again. Like that.
So could we have a motion to adopt the FY '26 Select Board meeting calendar as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? The Select Board calendar is passed. The second item under new business is the annual goal-setting retreat schedule for us. It's typically held in July, includes the boards and priorities, administrative goals, the session. What were the 2 days we talked about?
Yes, so I
The
put
8th,
together
is it 8th and 14th?
dates, yep,
Yeah.
the July 8th and 14th and or 15th, whatever date is more agreeable to you all. I know the 8th is a little tricky due to vacations. This is a very popular time of year. We chose not the 7th because as much as I adore all of you, I will be eating birthday cake and celebrating my birthday.
I wrote down the 15th this
And the
morning.
14th or the 15th.
14th
Or the 15th. So whatever, if you guys would prefer to go later into July, that's totally fine.
What are we talking about now?
The goal retreat. We did
Oh,
it
the
last
goal.
year.
All right.
I get you all dinner and we sit and talk.
You made us dinner?
No, I
No.
And we
bought
just-
you dinner.
And
Oh.
the survey will go out.
We present our list of goals for the
Okay,
next
so
year.
we're gonna do a
what we'd
survey?
like to
We're gonna
see,
do a survey.
prioritize,
Cause
et
that
cetera,
Sunday,
whatever we
it
would like
depends
to
on the
have.
time, cause I got a graduation.
Oh, no, the survey's on your priorities, right?
Oh, no, I'm talking
Like
about
an
the date,
increase
so we're
in
picking
pay.
the date today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In addition to picking the
Somebody has
date,
brought that up. Seriously, but that's,
in addition to picking the date, I would like your sentiment on, doing the reorg at this meeting, like calling the session to order, doing the reorganization of the board, and then going into the session, or holding off on the reorg until your meeting on July 21st.
I'd like to, so when is the first meeting after tomorrow?
First official meeting other than that one, the 21st.
So, well, there's no sense, and then when are we doing the,
So that's what we're trying to decide now, the 8th, the
The goal.
14th, or the 15th, which is better for you guys.
So-
well, I would,
Heather said anything that's not a planning board night works for her.
what,
None
What day in the week we call?
Those are Mondays and Tuesdays.
Those are Mondays and Tuesdays.
so why are we holding a goal prior to reorganizing the board? Goal session.
Because
That
it
doesn't
doesn't matter
It
who
doesn't
the chair
matter.
is, and
Okay.
the goals are,
Goals are the goals.
Goals are goals?
those are goals.
Goals are goals.
School. Alright, I'm good.
Alright, I can't even find the stupid dates on here, never mind. What are the
So,
dates?
do we
July
have
8th.
a feeling one way or the
14th.
other as to?
Select the date. I just name a date.
July what?
July 8th, which is a Tuesday,
Yeah.
or July 14th, which is a Monday, or July 15th, which is a
I
Tuesday.
prefer to be, me personally, not the 8th.
I think my wife's got vacation.
I prefer to have the time to think about the goals as opposed to, I'll be just having returned from my vacation and I will not be doing select board goals in Italy.
What?
Yes.
You're not?
No,
I know, I would too, I'd be like,
I will be off the week previous, so I will be
So,
not.
Let me-
in-
other than that, the 14th and the 15th are okay for me.
that's fine. Fine by me. Either or.
Can I make a call?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Oh, you wanna check? Yeah, go ahead.
You gonna phone a friend for this?
She's in a lifeline.
I think my wife's got vacation in July, I just wanna make sure, I don't wanna
No,
schedule.
absolutely.
I dialed my own number.
You're
What a dope.
dope. How'd you
Standby.
do that?
It's busy, I think.
Yeah.
Can you all bear with me a minute?
Yeah,
Yep, that's
absolutely.
fine, take your time.
All the time you need, we
Yeah.
got nothing at the.
Hi, honey, we're on video, so be nice. When is your vacation in July?
Be careful, it's public record.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Love you, bye. What are the dates?
Well, right now
July
it's
14th
14th
or
or the
15th.
15th.
Whatever.
Okay.
So it's not that week.
It's not that week.
Nick, you
Okay.
got any preference?
Well, you gotta check.
Yeah, no, of course.
Alright, why don't we say the 15th?
Okay.
Which is a Tuesday night? Okay.
15th of
Now,
July.
do you
okay.
wanna do the reorg on the 14th, or wait until the 24th and do it at a regular scheduled meeting?
What's the 14th?
No, the 15th.
You mean, we're
We
talking
chose
the
the 15th, not
The
the 14th.
15th, sorry.
Why don't we reorg and then do our thing at the
No, you-
15th?
That is what we
nothing
can
that
do.
says we can't, so.
Okay. I'll add that
Alright,
too.
so we'll make that part of that.
Alright, what time are we having this?
And until such time, I know nobody really, this isn't an issue, Jeff serves as chair until such time as another person is elected or he is reelected. That's how that works.
6:30 is our normal meeting time.
We don't have to do normal meetings.
We don't have to do, we should do it a little earlier if possible, get some time to eat, then do the reorg, then it'll probably take about an hour to go through all the topics.
Yeah.
and
So
What time
maybe-
works for you, Chris?
What would be your earliest that you could,
6:30.
that's the earliest for you, 6:30? Okay. 6:30 it is. Okay.
Works for me.
Okay, could we have a motion to to, schedule the FY 26 Select Board Goal Setting Retreat for July 15th, meeting at 6:30.
So moved.
Motion made, is there a second?
Second,
Any discussion?
yeah, we're having dinner.
Yep.
Yep.
I will
Is it
have,
bring your own?
nope,
Nope.
I eat salad.
We'll send out,
I
we'll send out an email.
I ate salad.
Lobster would be nice.
I'm on it,
There's
don't
no,
you worry.
there's no budget for that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed?
Yeah, we barely have pizza budget, you kidding?
Meeting,
pizza.
motion passed.
No pizza.
Under new business still, we have the lease amendment, approve extension terms and authorize negotiation and signing. This is to extend pause and clause lease to align with the veterinarian office. Or any comments or questions on this? Anything you wanna offer?
This has the support of the Public Safety Building Committee. Andrea has been nothing but lovely, and if we're being completely honest, there's not too much we could do with that space if it were empty and the veterinarian was still occupying the lion's share of the first floor of the building.
Are we ready? So, I'm confused by, I read that she's looking for a new location, but is she, wait, is because, did we keep her in limbo or something, or?
She's not in limbo, but it takes time to find a location and move your business.
Yeah, but
and
was she looking to move, or was she just trying to prepare in case the lease ended and we
She
said?
was trying to prepare,
Okay.
and the conversation between her and I pretty much went, hey, if there's an opportunity for you guys to make money and you're not doing anything for 5 years anyway, do you want me to stay or look?
She offered that to you?
Well, it was a mutual conversation.
Okay, well, I mean, if she-
Because it made sense.
If she's happy where she's at, I'm happy to
Yep,
have it
this
till
will
29
push it
or
down.
whatever. So it's an annual lease, 1 year lease?
Nope, this goes until the 2029.
Okay, I'm all right.
And it's the same matching terms as the veterinarian already has.
So everybody's lease will end at the same time?
And then
And then we'll go
the
from there.
town and the businesses have the opportunity to move forward in 1 year increments past 2029, should the funding for the project not move forward.
Okay, yeah, because we don't want to leave them hanging.
No, and we don't wanna leave them hanging, and
And-
it would be very difficult to pay that bill.
And we're gonna keep
with-
them abreast of, as we
Yes.
move forward.
Yep.
So they're not hanging. I hate for, an opportunity for them to come up and then we screw that up somehow.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else on that? Okay, could we?
So this is a reciprocal lease, right? I mean, if we extend it to the 29th, and they choose to leave prior
They have to follow
to
the terms.
2029, then they have to follow.
They have to follow the terms of the lease.
Okay.
And it's not a new lease, it keeps the same terms and everything, it is an amendment to her current lease.
Yeah, we're extending it. She's currently on an annual 1 year
No,
lease?
she's currently on a lease that expires June 30, 2026,
Okay.
but she would like the
She'd like
security.
long-term security. I don't blame her for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm all for it.
Okay.
Because she's been an awesome tenant. The vet's been a good tenant too, so.
All right, then could we have a motion to approve the lease amendment for pause and clause and authorize the town administrator to sign the agreement?
So moved.
Motion made, second. Any further comments or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Opposed? Meeting, so be it, passed. Okay, under old business. Nate, the TA report.
You're on.
Keep it short.
She's very excited about this, so
Okay,
y'all
here we
buckle
go.
up.
Keep it
Oh,
short.
here we go. We're all gonna buckle up now. I can feel it coming. The wave of excitement that just washed over this.
Yeah.
So, I would like to take this opportunity to review the Hub Connect initiative and the new website that will be launching on June 18th, 2 days from now, and July 1st respectively. This is a direct response to both the Collins Center survey, several staff surveys, and support from both town meeting, the select board, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So far, this initiative has been funded 100% with grant money and with existing restructured contracts. So we are paying the exact same amount as we were before for all of this, but restructured OpenGov and a couple of other contracts that you guys have approved over the last year. What is Hub Connect? It is a comprehensive, modern set of municipal operations tools. It is mobile responsive and ADA accessible. The new website holds forms, alerts, and dynamic homepage and department and board page. It will have public service requests and integration with the Hub Connect platform, improved navigation. I will share the website with you right now. You guys are the first to see.
Is this a new homepage?
It's a new everything.
That's the
So-
homepage?
So this is, it will share our town Facebook page right there. Here is the latest news, upcoming events. The legislative module is different and will take some of the burden off of Melody in her office and allow board chairs to interact with her office via upload. It has all this stuff.
What's the website?
It's gonna be hubbardstonma.gov, but right now it's ma-hubbardston.civicplus.com.
So that's what it's gonna look like when I click, type in hubbardstonma.gov?
Yep.
That's, it's gonna basically
Yep.
just replace what you.
What is there
have.
now,
Yeah.
which is nothing,
Exactly.
Yeah,
which is seal
and then this is the first page that we've updated. I'm gonna update them all. It has
Yeah, no.
photos and some pictures and a flippy dip thing that I made.
You got a select board pick on there?
Not
Yeah,
yet.
right there.
I have to.
Right there.
Oh, God, that's
Here.
already been.
Yeah, and the select board
Reading
page will be the
children.
next page that
Can we update our photo?
we're updating.
I
We
am
will be
getting
taking photos of
headshots of everyone.
you guys because we've partnered
Me too.
with the CERT team to purchase a grant-funded ID maker, both for use in the police department, use for staff, and use for emergency management. That should be coming in the mail any day.
Yeah. I have to sign for it, so it's a big honking boy. I'm pretty excited for it though.
Okay.
That way town employees have badges, cause I mean, most of us do wear Hubbardston swag as we're walking around 48, but we don't wear it all the time.
Yeah.
This way you
Oh.
can identify town employees with their badge.
I'm gonna give you guys the whole bag on it in a minute, cause I am really proud of it, but this is the homepage of the staff portal of Hub Connect.
Did
It
you
has-
design this?
I did.
So this is all your work?
Yes, sir. It has Hub Fix, which is staff requests at this time. Eventually, it will be town-wide and allow us to track what our biggest problems and bottlenecks are. It has Hub Inspect, which is inspections, that is live already. It has Hub Serve, which is board and committee management. Hub Fiscal, which is budget and finance work. Laserfish repository in the budget and transparency portal. Additionally, starting on Wednesday, there will be a workflow library. I am presenting this to the staff in a few days.
Hubby or what?
Yeah, that's my
Hubby,
robot.
that's the AI robot that knows like the town bylaws and stuff,
Yeah.
so I have a question, I can ask it, it'll
Yeah,
answer me.
yeah,
You
it
could
is
ask your hubby.
a-
This is advanced.
It is ChatGPT with a Hubbardston specific filter to help answer your questions.
Hubby hub.
Yeah, like, can the chief of police arrest me if I annoy him? Hubby told me no.
What kind of security we got this from being hacked?
It's a completely secure and encrypted site. backed through, it's run through Civic Plus.
Okay.
In addition to the modules that I'm about to show you, there will be a live and updated bi-weekly budget module that will have all of the general ledger accounts, and they will be updated when the different accounts update bi-weekly.
Showing the new balances, et cetera, and so
Let me
forth.
ask a question if I could.
Yes, sir.
So, if this is all proprietary to you, and you get hit by a bus tomorrow, or have a falling out with the town, how do we maintain this website in your absence?
It is not proprietary to me. I do not own it. The only thing that allowed me to do this was participation by the town of Hubbardston and their ability to work with me to do it. It is set up, and we're working on standard operating procedures that explain not only how to do it, but how to change it. And in addition to that, my code, once placed into Civic Plus, becomes editable like a normal editing thing.
By any employee of the
By
town?
any
access.
employee. And it can also, I'm going to be putting out standard operating procedures that note how I got to there, but the normal updates of regular documents and things that need to be in there, staff will be trained upon, which I will be going through further in the PowerPoint. And it is my hope that the standalone HTML as written will just be able to be swapped out on the back end, and then nothing will really change. From the minute it goes live, it starts recouping. So the ROI is, I'm anticipating about $50,000 in staff savings, like not $50,000 cash. They're gonna be able to do other things, error handling, operational improvements. In the first year, I'm anticipating that level of operational savings on top of the fact that we did not have to pay anything to get here, which all of these modules would have been between $10,000 and $20,000 had we purchased them off the shelf. Let me tell you, I was not stoked to put, my running estimate is that it took me 500 hours to do all of this, of my own time at home. I do enjoy it, and this happened to be a topic, and I am presenting on this at the Small Town Administrators of Massachusetts meeting on June 25th. Yeah, I also would like to thank Leanne for her work on all of this, but I can go back and explain what exactly this is. What is Hub Connect? It is an internal and public-facing system transforming town government. Built using Civic Optimize, Power Automate, Microsoft 365, and SharePoint, it all talks to each other through something called Power Automate, which is a Microsoft Office suite platform. This is kind of the way most things are going to end up going, if we're being completely honest. And this has been a experiment that I've been utilizing to see how it goes, because my goal is to not only present to this town that we can utilize savings, but to present to all rural communities that with the right couple staff members utilizing modern technology, you can have things that are usually only in larger communities. It replaces paper, spreadsheets, and siloed processes, provides automation, real-time tracking, and transparency initiatives. Strategic goals of Hub Connect: support sustainable operations with fewer administrative burdens, reduce staff burnout and redundancy, improve constituent experience, create integrated records for better service delivery, and set a foundation for interdepartmental collaboration. And I know you're saying, but Nate, what are all of those buzzwords? Because they are buzzwords. But some of these systems are already live. Right now, already going is our online permits for building, electrical, plumbing, and gas. Our dog licensing portal, HubPause, was very successful in its first year. Boarding committee appointment form and workflow automation for staff routing and filing. That's a tie-in with Laserfish.
So everything goes to the right place.
Yep.
Is that what that means?
Yep.
Launching July 1st. HubFix, a unified infrastructure facilities request system. It is going to launch first as pretty much HunterFix, and we will only be utilizing it for the staff with Hunter, and we'll go from there. I just finished today, if anyone wants to see something kind of cool, the accounts payable automation. This is the part of all of this I'm most proud of, because it is going to be able to save us both time, staff burden, and do something automated that is an annoying process in real life. Yes, sir.
So, all this electronic stuff is well and good. What is your safety backup mechanism for this?
It's run on a fully encrypted and ADA compliant site.
That's not what I'm asking.
If it doesn't work.
What happens if, when everything goes down, electric, computers, everything, banking, what if something catastrophic happens?
We have,
If you're worried about the website at that point in time,
I'm
then-
not talking,
I'm
I'm
just-
not talking a nuclear fallout.
Well,
I'm talking
no, but-
a severe ice storm and knocks all the
No.
power out, knocks
No.
everything out, for 3 weeks like we had not so many years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago. Where is this, you said it's all electronic filing and everything, where is it stored?
we have a server.
And
we have
standalone server that
No,
controls.
our servers are backed up with CM Geeks
Every-
in like every 20 minutes.
Wow.
So what happens
Everything's
when
in.
everything goes down for 3 weeks?
I'll bring my laptop to my house and get it from there.
You know, I'm not really getting the answer I'm looking for.
If everything went down for 3 weeks.
I guess I'm not sure what the answer you're looking for is. If everything goes down 3 weeks, we have a major problem, right?
We had a major
A
problem
big time major problem.
for.
So we gotta start doing things manually again.
That's what I mean, but if it's backed up on a computer and you can't access, where do you start?
Everything that
It's not
needs,
by knocking on the door of the town hall and saying, hey, I got a problem.
Well, I'm talking about the town hall, everything that, all the accounts payable and receivable and everything else. If it's stored somewhere off-site and we don't have access to it.
it already,
We
well,
do have
the
access
accounts
to it.
payable papers, we cannot get rid of. The paper products is still going on. This is a staff fix. The paper side that Sam and Mary do is still mandated by the state to be a paper product. So there is still
So you still have manual
Records.
paper records to back up what you do.
and manual personnel records. Everything that is mandated by the state to be kept in paper form will still be kept in paper form. This is a transparency initiative and a way to help staff with burnout, because ever since I got here, there has been minimal AP standards.
I guess I'm the only one that's got a concern about this, because nobody else seems to really worry about it.
no. Because if we have another ice storm that goes 3 weeks, first of all, a lot of people are prioritized elsewhere. So what you're worried about, like building stuff and things like, they're not gonna be coming in to pull permits and things, cause everything's, like, we're trying to fix stuff, like just get stuff moving again with roads, you know, that kind of stuff. So like a lot of the stuff that if we had another ice storm wouldn't be happening anyway.
So everything we do, like accounts receivable in a day, accounts payable that day, where does it go? Or is it confidential, we shouldn't be talking about
We,
that?
no, accounts payable is an incredibly public record.
Okay, so.
I'm sure it goes to a cloud or a server somewhere
Yes.
off-site, right?
Yes.
To a secured, different
And it's-
location.
Well, that's what I'm looking for.
And it's backed
Yes.
up, and it's backed up daily.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's backed up, I'd have to ask CM Geeks, but hundreds of times.
Right.
Like, there are.
Daily,
Yeah.
so
Daily.
at certain intervals, it's
Yeah.
continuously updating.
Yeah.
But if National Grid or something like that, or the dumpster company has to wait like a week for a payment, they're not gonna just come
Yeah,
through
no,
with
I'm not
lights.
worried about paying.
You know what I mean?
I'm not really worried
The
about paying.
employees would still
people, I'm
get
just-
paid. You know,
I
the paper.
need to know that, I
The
just wanna
audit-
know personally that,
So this program creates no additional digitalization that isn't already digitalized. Like, you guys voted on the Vadar contract for the
Yeah.
financial accounting
Yeah.
earlier tonight.
Yeah.
Like, so this is just
Streamlining.
streamlining. Trisha, how annoying is AP?
AP, I have to say, is the
Loathes
worst
it.
part of my job, because select board, you guys pay the majority of the bills, and it takes me it took me an entire morning to get it all organized and paid and find the right account numbers and all this. The way that you do this now, the minute I start typing in the who we're paying, it automatically fills in, okay, well, you're paying this company, here's their vendor code number. If they don't have a vendor code number, I'm like, oh, I need to pull a W-9 from them. It gives me everything, and it makes it faster. We played around with it this morning to see how fast we could do it, and it makes my job that much easier.
Yeah.
Because remember, I pay the select board, but I also do parks, I also do special events, I do a bunch of outlier AP as well, that is also on top of my plate.
So, to show you guys an example.
So everything is good as long as everything's working.
True, yes.
That's why we were playing around with it so much, because mine is going to be the one that it's gonna find the bugs.
Well, let's not get off track here. I mean, I think the concern was, a backup system, right? What's the fail-safe when whatever happens, happens?
Yeah, that's
And
my
we've got
concern.
one. I think we've
Yeah.
explained it, that you understand now that there
Yeah.
is one and it exists, and
Yeah.
that's all good. We all understand that it's gonna be more efficient and get things done quicker, so,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I'm all for it. Let's move on.
So one of the bigger things that we're going to be able to do is GL codes have been a pain in the butt for everybody. Now you just open it, click your GL code, and you're done. Vendor management has lost hours and hours and hours in terms of who gets paid what, why did this guy's name change. Now we have a fully backed up vendor list of everyone the town's done business with that is completely searchable. Like, we can look up Amazon, Amazon Capital Services, Amazon.com. So this is all about streamlining. It's not digitizing anything that has not yet been digitized. I was very fortunate to come into a town that was already taking steps in this direction. Laserfish and the grant that it came with was a first step in a digitized government.
Peter?
Here he goes. Oh. Go for it.
Yes, sir.
no, never mind.
No, what you got? I wanna
No,
hear it.
I got nothing to say.
Oh, you got stuff to say.
I'll keep it to myself.
Not one, no.
No, because if it's something that comes up now out of you, he wants to hear it, so that
All
way
right.
it might be something
One of my
to think of.
constituents wants to put a claim, let's say a pothole or something, and let's say 500 people put in a complaint that day. Do they all go to one place before they get distributed to the DPW?
So-
Are you looking at them before they're sent to the boss down there?
It's an automated system. So what HubFix does, and I'll open it for you right
So-
now. It's an automated system that you go to HubFix and you
Mm-hmm. What's
you
the DPW
say
for?
who you are. So town employee,
Yeah,
next,
yeah.
For emergencies, call 911.
first name, phone number, email address. I don't think it's gonna let me go next because it's mandatory. Where is the issue located? Please describe the issue. If you're on your cell phone and you click open camera, your camera will open. If you're on your desktop or computer, if you hit open camera, your file share system will open. After it is signed, finalized, send in, it routes to the appropriate person. So if it's a pothole, it will route to Travis when this is finally done. If it's an internal facilities request, it routes to me, and then I can route it to Hunter or the DPW. In the future, if someone is complaining and saying, oh, there's speed demons on X road, it will route to the chief.
What about, so,
So who's the gatekeeper of this?
That's
It
what I'm-
gatekeeps itself.
What if it doesn't identify the request that it's receiving and just sits in limbo for days and days and days?
No.
Then the flow will break, and Leanne and I will get a email saying that the flow broke and to go in and fix it.
Flow broke. You need
Is
to
there-
fix flow.
It's a heavy flow.
Is there a place for people to write stuff?
No.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what prevents demeaning verbiage and stuff like that?
The website blocks certain verbiage. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed like a school child when I saw the words that Civic Plus felt they
Bans.
needed to ban. So there are certain bans in place of words you can use on the website in general.
So it won't allow you to put this effing pothole.
It
just
won't
broke my
allow
car.
you to put,
I'm talking about personal
I'm
attacks
just saying.
on our staff. That's what I'm talking about.
I would probably not go to this venue to personally attack the staff. That's what Facebook is for.
True. You're not hearing me. People do funny things when they're stressed out.
Yep, they can
Oh,
say
trust
that,
me. I get those phone calls.
That-
So, am I the only one that concerns
No.
myself with this stuff?
yes, because until it actually happens, it's okay.
It's,
Well-
but it's no different from an email. If someone sends me an email
Okay.
right now and
All right.
says, the chief is stupid
I'm
with
good.
his da-da-da-da-da,
Yeah.
like, I'm still gonna get the email. At
Okay.
least now we streamlined their attack.
All right, I'm good. I'm good.
They could do it multiple times, it'll be fabulous. Nate will get all these bleeping this and bleeping that.
So when I send out a test email,
Yep.
a test thing on here, don't get offended.
Test it, I think you should.
I want to.
Go ahead.
We're gonna actually bring you guys in before the general public.
Oh,
so you
the
can,
week, test
You
it?
can test it. Hunter, clean your room.
Yes.
I'll fix facilities plus
Sorry.
DPW.
Sure you wanna move down 48 Gardner Road there, chief?
Nope.
Accounts payable automation, this is departments upload invoice details through smart form. SharePoint auto creates folders by departments and warrant. It auto generates HTML cover sheets summarizing invoice batches. This will significantly reduce staff time and error risk.
No more duplicate
Wait.
invoices.
No more duplicate invoices, no more duplicate vendor names, no more wrong checks being mailed. Wage authorization and onboarding, new and modified positions submitted via digital form, routed through town administrator and select board, triggers onboarding folder and checklist, establishes a digital record of wage actions and approvals. Right now, we're just winging it.
Well, this probably would have alleviated that whole Board of
Yes.
Health thing.
There's HubServe committees and appointments.
That went awry for years.
Yeah. This will eliminate what we just went through tonight with who's up, who's not up. It's all going to be tracked. This will, residents submit interest in serving, clerk and executive assistant manage active/vacant positions, term expiration alerts to avoid gaps in service. It tracks your history and engagement for each seat. When people pass away or receive awards, we're always wondering, what did they do? This will allow us to look back. And it also saves itself, as much as I wanted to go into a fancy digital archive, all of this is run through Excel. So it is
I'm
saved.
sorry, what's it run through?
Excel.
Excel. So that it will be a standard and understandable table format that auto fills out itself. Training strategy. We have about $20,000 to train on this. That is all grant funded through our initiative with the Collins Center. Basically, that night we said, we don't like feasibility studies, funded this. So the training strategy
Still
is
say I don't like
the week of July 7th, this will all drop. We're gonna have structured small groups trainings by department, office hours, sandbox testing, and live support for the first couple weeks. Training on civic optimized forms, workflows, and SharePoint, all measurable. All materials will be housed in a staff intranet, which is what I showed you earlier on that board. This is grant funded. In our training, we will be training on modernization. Staff can receive one-on-one and team-based training. Covers Microsoft 365, workflow design, Civic Optimize. Patricia and I have been looking into bringing a Microsoft 365 certified trainer in for a day to train staff and then point out different levels of online courses that each staff member will need to take to assist them where they are at.
So, training for their level.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Peter?
Staff intranet, are we part of that?
Yes.
As the board?
Yep.
So I can send you a message without texting, whatever?
Yeah.
Just fast, quick, easy? Thank you.
Long-term vision, the FY26 goal, fully digitized integrated operations. Phase 2, what I'm thinking about and looking into would be hub records, Laserfiche plus public records. So you fill out a form, it checks the Laserfiche repository, lets you know if any such file exists. That saves Melody a ton of time, that lets people know what exactly we have, and yeah. And then human resources we already got, and additional hub inspect forms. I'm looking forward to doing the planning and Board of Health documentation, because that is all a very slow process. Centralized management of documents, compliance and reporting, and then we will be placing public-facing dashboards for engagement and transparency. A conservative estimate of savings, if this is implemented appropriately, is between $32,500 and $42,500 a year in staff time. With AP forms and routing automation, it is anticipating to save 880 staff hours a year. We will save on printing and supplies. We will save on, this is my big one, error reduction and compliance, fewer missteps, fewer late forms, and fewer manual corrections. It will lead to faster hiring, transparent appointments, reduced workload, and better grant readiness. We will have all of this data in a centralized place. And this all started because we didn't have a centralized constituent management platform. And when I first was hired here, several constituents and staff members tried to pull the wool over my eyes, stating, so-and-so said I could do X. And there was no proof that so-and-so did or did not say. So why this matters to the select board: it improves visibility into operations and spending, reduces lag time in approvals and hiring, makes appointments, records, and budgets easier to manage, ensures Hubbardston leads in small town government innovation. Proposing the next steps, launching on July 1st, training starts July 7th. I will provide quarterly updates to both you and the dashboards that will be coming in the fall, and we're ready to launch. Thank you for supporting this initiative. Now, as long as it works, that will all be true. If it breaks, I'll let you know.
Don't worry, Peter
And
will let you know.
I'll say, I told you so.
Yeah, Peter will, all over
I
that.
can promise you that.
If it breaks, we lose nothing.
With this being said, and your 880 hours of staff time savings, are you gonna reduce the size of your staff?
That is not the goal. The goal would be to utilize the staff to do more.
Okay.
Because what we are saving on is the mundane, repetitive, annoying parts of people's jobs that are purely administrative. The staff members do not have time to do the progressive parts of their job because they are in the administrative weeds. So this will allow a lot of forward thinking, more constituent work, more ability to just take things as they come, as they go. And in the long term,
So-
yes, it is my hope that this will save money and be able to stop us from having to ask for either more hours or more staff. The first example of that is we were this close to seeking an AP clerk this year. That would have been someone individually that was hired to manage the AP, the accounts payable process. We, as long as this works, do not need a person to do that role any longer.
Will it reduce hours of operation at 48 Gardner Road?
No.
Will it reduce constituents' accessibility to deal in person to do the business that they do today?
there will be iPads at the different stations so that people can, whether it be staff or a resident, can utilize this system from an in-person avenue.
But if a resident wants to come in and talk to you or Melody, they can still do that
Absolutely.
whenever they want
And we'll
to,
have more time to talk to them.
or anybody they want to talk to.
So staff is gonna be directed that, you know, some people out there can't do things on a laptop.
Staff is directed to
Yeah.
fill it out for anyone that has been asked.
And then my town hall to go thing that I've been doing, going to like the fairs and all the events and stuff like that, I'll be able to bring one of these tablets with me so that if constituents have questions or need help filling that out, I'll be there with Mel to help them.
And this hasn't even dropped yet. There's gonna be
Yeah, I
a
understand
there's
that,
gonna be a
but we
learning
have
curve.
40% of our population is seniors, right? So, and let me just say, maybe half of that 40% are up on cell phones and computers and everything else, but I'm probably gonna guesstimate that the other half probably aren't, so they're still gonna need to be serviced face to face.
Yep.
Unable to, you know, they can only verbalize what they wanna do and somebody has to pick that up.
The first test
There's
of
also
this,
people who just would prefer to do it that way.
Right. Right, not necessarily
Regardless if
seniors,
they're
yeah.
seniors or not
Yeah.
seniors.
what I'm
Right.
thinking about doing there is putting out, like dry erase markers in versions of the forms, but we're not at that yet. The dry run of this was the dog licenses, and nobody really complained about it. It was simple, it was fast, and it worked.
It's gotta be good.
Yeah.
Well, it was simple and it was fast and it worked for the people that used it to apply for dog licenses. Was there a reduction in the amount of dog license applications?
This was not.
Didn't
And
see an increase this year?
It's likely an increase, and we also now have all of that data. And we have everybody, whereas before it was, we had it.
So that dog license thing, is there a way for somebody to fill out on there if their pet is deceased and they don't need to update it every year? Or are they gonna start getting fined things in the mail because they didn't
No,
buy a dog license?
there's an option.
There
It's a
is.
sad option, but.
Well, I understand that.
There's an option that, yeah.
But I have
No more
this-
questions.
Okay.
Yeah, you are. You're gonna ask another question.
That's it. That's what I have.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you for the,
Thank you for
Time
your
to put in.
880 hours of
Yeah.
extra work,
it's impressive.
880 hours of saved.
or whatever he's got, 500 hours of working from bed.
It's impressive.
You know what, take a vacation,
We'll try.
go,
I already told him to take
go for a couple, 3 weeks.
No?
All right,
We'll be all right.
let's move on. To policies, we don't have any.
We have no policy.
Under matters not recently anticipated by the chair, I have one just to let everyone know, we have an interim building commissioner, Mr. George Tigner, at $75 an hour for 5 hours of work. Okay? So that.
$75 an hour for 5 hours?
Up to 5 hours. That's it. All he can do is 5 hours.
When did he,
Today.
when did he start?
He will start next week if the appointment is approved this evening. I can tell you, Mr. Tignor is very nice. He's the part-time retired building commissioner for the town of Westminster and the town of West Boylston. I am hoping that the time away for our building commissioner is not long, but I already have a schedule of when to reach out to him. Just, there's a personnel thing going on in the building commissioner's life that he needed to take some time off.
Help me understand how these 5 hours are going to work. It's gonna be a particular day, is it?
Wednesdays.
Wednesdays.
Time,
Wednesday.
Wednesday,
1 through 5. 1 to 5?
Wednesdays 1 to 5 are when the interim building inspector will be physically there.
so anything that you need building inspector input for is only going to happen one time a week on Wednesdays.
Anything that you need physical building commissioner interaction for will happen one time a week on Wednesdays. Our e-permitting system will still run as it usually runs, and Nancy's with us until the end of July, and she runs some of that permitting. Leanne's been running some of that permitting. It is our interest in ensuring that service is provided at the highest level, even in terms of interim. But I can tell you that the line wasn't very long when we were seeking interim building commissioners.
So do we need, do you want some action from us in terms
Yes.
of a motion to appoint?
Yeah, I would say motion to appoint Mr. Tignor as the interim building commissioner for a time not to exceed 90 days.
So moved.
Okay, motion made, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, oh, that's okay, thank you. All right, motion's been made and second, any further questions or comments on this? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes,
Aye.
opposed, motion passed. Are there any other matters not reasonably anticipated by the chair at this time? Okay, public press, no. So that leaves us,
Motion to adjourn.
motion made, for a second,
Second.
motion to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Adjourn.